What's going on, guys? Bonafide Hustler here.
Raking profit.
And today we're doing a little bit different type of a little show here. Today we're going to be talking about top 5 mistakes that you'll be making on eBay. This show is streaming on 2 channels, and it's also streaming on Facebook, Bonafide Hustler Facebook. So hopefully we'll get some really good insight from 3 angles here. But anyways, I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas. That's where we are right now. We're in my garage. And I flip stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets. Put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. I'm one of the admins and co-founders of the Green Room University. You gotta check it out, greenroomuniversity.com. And this is Mr. Steve Rakin.
What's going on, guys? Steve Rakin, 29 years old, from Connecticut. Actually just left in time to miss the big snowstorm. Stella, I believe, is the snowstorm. So for the folks on the East Coast, hopefully you're staying warm and you got your driveways all plowed. But anyway, he's been selling online, eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, Shopify. Been doing this for about 4 years. Today we're going to be talking about eBay, though, actually, and what, 5 mistakes?
5 mistakes that you are more likely making on eBay. I think to this day we still make some of these mistakes, but to keep this in the back of your head, like, try not to make these mistakes. There are 5 of them. We're going to keep it kind of brief and succinct. And with that, we'll go into number 1. And we're assuming that everything sounds good. Hopefully you guys can hear us properly. So let us know on Facebook. Let us know on Steve's channel. Let us know on the Bonafide Hustler channel.
Are we in both pictures right now?
Because I think we're in both. Okay, maybe I'm here. No, you didn't drag it out all the way. All right. So anyway, number 1, I think this is important. I kind of hinted to this the other day when I did a live stream, and that is you really have to have passion for like what you're reselling. So especially if you're a beginner or you're an intermediate into the eBay game, I think there's nothing worse than actually going somewhere and going, oh, well, I saw this on some other person's video and they told me to buy, old this and that, and now I got a stack of records that I don't know what to do. So you have to have initial kind of passion for the items that you're hustling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like passion, also education.
Yeah, passion and education. You have to have prior knowledge, of course, but you also have to have that, like, I want to bring this to market and I want to see this thing through so I can make a whole lot of money. That's really important because a lot of people, that's how death piles start occurring, right? You're not passionate about the stuff that's in the death pile. What is a death pile?
Yeah, I was just going to say, some people might not know what a death pile is. A death pile could be different for everybody else, but say you buy, like for me, I had a death pile of Wii boards and a death pile of VCRs. And I learned quite quickly that I just hate dealing with really big items on eBay and even Amazon, because you have to box them up, prep them up, takes longer, it's more expensive to ship. And a death pile essentially is a whole bunch of items that just continue to stack up in a location in your house. It could be in your bedroom or your garage, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And this death pile, you start to realize that it's probably not going to get listed, or if you do, it's going to be hell on earth for a day.
Yeah, it's usually a lot of stuff that, for one, you don't have any passion for it. You don't care. You don't know how to really see it through the marketplace. It's also one of those things where maybe the item is incomplete, like a broken something or something that's missing a remote control. That's a real common one with electronics is you're missing something kind of integral, whether it be a power cord or AV cord, in order to test it, to even bring it to market in the first place. So those things put a lot of, life gets in the way of a lot of things. When you're an eBay reseller, life gets in the way. What I mean by that is, like, if you got to order a remote control and a cord for this, a cord for that, and if you're not organized enough to put it on a sheet, you're guaranteed not to order this thing till like forever later. And forever later is typically when you're so stressed out, you have these piles in your house, and it's just not fun, right? It's not good for marriages. It's not good for, clearing your mind.
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem is terrible for self-esteem, guys. So you have to make sure that you have passion with what you're reselling. Like if you're going to go somewhere and hustle a Keurig coffee maker, make sure you kind of know how these things relatively work. Make sure you know what makes them complete. Make sure you have your drip tray, your water tank. And if it doesn't work, make sure you donate it and get it out of your way. Like, you got to do things. You got to have passion with what you bring to market.
One of the worst things you could do is just buy, and the death pile gets bigger and bigger, because then when you do have an opportunity to pounce on, there's something holding you back, because in the back of your mind, your brain is saying, but Steve or Chris, why am I going to buy this when I already have 100 items at home that I haven't listed, right? And you could be passing up really good opportunities because your mind is just so busy with all your inventory. There's no better feeling than listing all of your items and not having anything to list.
Yes.
And when I was new selling clothing, there was a time where I had about 300 or 400 items not listed. And I knew better. And I had to literally take about 2 months 2 or 3 months maybe, and not even go sourcing, maybe once a week, right? Because it's so addicting to go sourcing. But like I pulled back from like 5 or 6 days a week sourcing back to like 1 day a week because I had so much inventory. And I finally said to myself, okay, I'm gonna list all this stuff up. Took a couple months off from going out sourcing, and guess what happened? Can you guess what happened when I focused my time on listing all my stuff versus just sourcing and not listing? What happened? Do you think my business grew? Or
your business grew and you probably felt more energetic into doing it and replicating it again.
Yeah,
that's really important, because that's what we're in the game for, is replicating over and over and over, making these, turning $1 into 50, $1 into 20 over and over and over, right? But you pretty much put a stop to that once you start seeing the death pile occur. And if the death pile has any substantial amount of money associated to it, it really can get to your head. So be careful with that kind of stuff. We see some great comments coming from Facebook real quick. Tons of people out there in Facebook saying, hey, what's up? But there was a really good one here. I wanted to kind of shout it out. But it's basically from Chris Napier saying, if you cannot manage your time, do something else. I mean, and that can kind of that's an encompassing kind of thought, right? But if you can't manage your time with eBay and you got piles sitting around here and you're just not enthusiastic about reselling it, why are you buying it? Like when you see it again at a garage sale or a thrift store or wherever, do not buy that again, okay? And I can list off a million things, like your weed boards, I can list off things too that I'm like, I know it can make good money. I know it can. It's just not worth my time. So anyway, hopefully you guys can still hear us. Let's go to number 2. What is number 2?
Yeah, number 2, I've got my handy dandy little list here. Number 2 is being afraid to experiment when the price is ridiculously low. And I'm gonna let you lead with this one because you actually thought of this on our big 5 mistakes. So what does that mean, being scared to experiment when the price is really, really low?
One of the things out there, guys, that makes a hustler a good hustler is the ability to experiment, okay? Experimentation means buying stuff that you might have you're suspecting like there's gonna be some good resale in this, but people are, sometimes too afraid, right? And sometimes you can be too afraid because your death pile is too high, guys, okay? You have to be really careful with that. That's the reason why you want to have clear minds so you can actually think these things through when the time is right. You know what they say is strike when the, what is it?
Strike when the iron is hot, or
is
something.
That what it is?
I don't know, something along those lines.
I don't know what the hell that means, but it sounds cool to say right now. But no, but honestly, like what it comes down to is you want to make sure that, help me out here. I know what I'm trying to get to.
When there's a really good opportunity there, you want to make sure that you pounce on that thing if it's super, super cheap, because the risk and reward, you always talk about that all the time.
Here's a perfect example of the whole entire thing. You're at a garage sale, you're at a thrift store, you see a bag, it says Louisville Slugger on it, and it's got like 8 bats inside, and it's marked at $1.99. You go to a garage sale and this same, bat bag says, you ask the person real quick, hey, right before you leave, right? You don't know anything about bats, but before you leave, you go, how much for that bag of bats? And the person goes, $5. You're like, okay. And they go, how about $2? Okay, now here's a perfect scenario why you should spend $2. And if it doesn't work out, which is pretty much impossible for it not to work out, $2.
Yeah.
Because you can take those bats to a consignment store, sporting goods consignment store, and you can make like $4 to $10 per bat, even like the worst ones. So, but by walking away from that, A, you don't get to learn about bats. B, you've really learned a terrible risk reward scenario. Like you're supporting a really bad habit of like not going forward with risk and reward when the risk is absolutely so low and the reward is pretty much, in the 10 times category minimum. I think in that.
When you can't lose and there's only upside, or like the worst case scenario, you can only break even.
Like 1 out of 10 times you might lose the $2 in that scenario, right? The other 9 of the 10 times you make money. So, people say like, well, isn't that just wasting money? Yeah, you waste $2 the first time around. But the other 9 times out of 10, you're making big, significant money. And more importantly, you're learning from the experiment. So when the price is really, really low, okay, doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you know. If the price is ridiculously low, a lot of times these are from places where, it's a fundraiser sale. Like, we don't want to go home with this stuff. Make us an offer we can't refuse. When you hear these kind of key words at garage sales or wherever you're at, these are times to really get as low as possible on things you don't know about.
They're desperate. They want
out. Moving sales especially. I got to move out of the country. I see move out of the country sales. In my head, these people do not want to take anything with them, okay? So just remember that real quick is that, don't experiment, okay? I want you guys to experiment out there, but the way to be confident through an experiment is to buy super, super low and buy super low. Each time you see that scenario pop up, buy it.
And I'll tell you right now, with technology, we all have phones, right? We all have, smartphones. You have the ability to look up selling on eBay. Just go to the app and look up the sold listings. If you don't know what the sold listings are, Just type it into Google, type it into YouTube. I have so many videos where I literally just go through the sold listings, studying the items. But you can do that. You know, say you find a Louisville Slugger bat, you know, and it's $1, $2. You know, this thing's $100 plus in retail stores. Just look it up real quick and check out the sold listings. If you don't even have a phone, $1 or $2, but you have that gut feeling, what's the worst that could happen, right? When you take risks on these items, next time you're in a scenario like that, and trust me, there's going to be a next time where you come across that item.
Absolutely.
You might think to yourself, this is a one-off item, but I can't tell you how many times I've come across something and I said, yeah, I don't know if I should buy it or not. I mean, blah, blah, blah. And then I come across it the next week and the week after, and I'm like, wow, thank God I studied this. Pull the trigger, learn. It's all about education in the resale game.
That's right.
And this can minimize your risk like crazy.
Yeah, but even you know, if you don't have the cell phone next to you, you kind of feel guilty for whipping out the cell phone in a garage sale because it's hella uncomfortable. Let's face it, right? Is to just sit there and go, hold on. Like there's, you know, they're golf clubs and they want this 20 golf clubs gone for like $2. You know, what do, right? What I do is I buy the golf clubs, and if one teaches me something or the other 19 teaches me something, I'm learning something from the entire scenario. I might learn one thing, which is never buy these things again. But I also might learn a bunch of other scenarios, which it could be like, oh, I didn't know that the graphite ones are better, or the left-handed ones, or the women's ones, or this is what a 4 or 6 iron, you know, should look like. Or so you start understanding a lot of things, and that's, I think, one of the main reasons why we got so good at the game is that we weren't afraid to experience, and we understand risk to a very, very basic level. Risk is amazing. If you're willing to put down $1 to pick up 10, you're a smart person. But if in 10 scenarios, you know, you're going to lose $1 one time, right? Yeah. So anyway, let's go into the next one. We got 151 people. I think combined total, we have about 220 people watching this right now.
Yeah, shout out to everyone watching live right now.
Appreciate it.
What do they got to do, man, if they're live? Let's take a minute before we get into number 3, because we're about halfway through this list. What do they need to do right now on the Rake and Profit channel and the Bonafide Hustler channel?
No, do us a favor, guys. Like, if you enjoyed content like this, just hit the like button, right? Do us another favor. Give me 1 second. You know, we are part of the Green Room University. This is a thing that we've created back in the day where like-minded people get together and share all their hustler successes. It's a Facebook group, plus it's a website. So I'm going to take a second to give you guys 100 things to look for, okay? Look for these 100 things. There's a PDF down below. It's the very first thing to look at. Put it in your phone. Study it when you're in the DMV.
If they don't have it yet, I don't know what's going on.
They got to have this thing.
We promote this free guide all the time.
There it is, down below. It's an awesome guide, guys, honestly. And it's actually getting revamped right now, so it's going to be even crazier looking like in a
month. We updated it, revised it, new graphics, and what is it going to be, like 2.0 pretty much?
Basically a 2.0 version.
It's going to be free still. It's just we want to make it a little nicer for you guys and easier to look through. So definitely grab that. Number 3, you want to dive into number 3? Do you want to
go for it.
Shout out any comments?
This is really good, you know, so we have Lars right here says, love that book. I downloaded it already. I have all these people saying that. It's already smashed the like button. Knowing is half the battle from Who Be the Real right here.
Don Wilson says, I've made money with that resale list already. So
go check it out.
That's not a list of like 100 items that are just like crap items. It's like these are items that took us a while to figure out, and they're not like super complicated. It's not like rocket science. It's you could find these things. So definitely check it out. Let's dive into number 3. So what I have for number 3 is possessing the right mindset, but not getting caught up in the wrong addictions. Reselling can be an addiction, right? Certain aspects of it. And
many aspects.
People tend to fall into an addiction in one specific area, though, when it comes to reselling. And they tend to be doing a lot of this, and they get addicted to the thrill of doing certain things.
You're guilty of it. I'm guilty of it.
I am so guilty of it.
Everyone out there is
guilty
of this stuff, guys. Don't think that because we're talking, we're perfect. We're sharing this with you guys because we've gone through it. We've done this mistake. We've gone these mistakes, and we don't want to do these mistakes again. We want to share this information with you. So let's elaborate on what Ricken was talking about real quick. Possess the right addiction, right? Usually when people hear addiction, what do they think about? Bad things, right?
Yeah, they think of doing, everything is fine in moderation, but when somebody does something way too much over and over again, they think of an addiction. And they think of also the negative consequences of these actions over the long haul. Yeah, so you need to train your mind to possess the right addictions, right? A lot of people in this world are like, you know what? I want to lose weight, right? So they sit there and but the addiction happens to be with food. It's our number one enemy in the US. When eBay, it's like, I love buying, right? That's the addiction. I love buying. And then you always hear people like, I suck at selling, right? I don't know what to do. Death piles are here and there. I'm buying too much stuff, but I'm really good at buying. When you're really good at buying on eBay,
it's like having a leaky gold pouch. Like if you walk around with a gold pouch and that represents your assets and everything, I guarantee you, if you are actually buying and not listing, you have a hole in that pouch. You're walking around and there's literally gold spilling out of it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there cognizant of it too. That's the crazy part. You're looking at your gold pouch going, stuff's leaking out of my pouch. But anyways, I'm gonna keep buying stuff. You know, like you got to stop there and go, you know what is happening here? And what is happening to a lot of people out there that are resellers that get in the game, or you're intermediate, you know, you have to sit back and go, why not shift the addiction? Okay. Why not shift the addiction to a good addiction?
It's all in the mind though, how you look at it.
So while an addiction might be a really bad thing, shifting the addiction to something really good, it's like, instead of like sleeping in through your day, maybe getting up and getting addicted to running, for example, right? With eBay, instead of getting addicted to buying, shift your mindset and going, you know what? I'm gonna turn on some good music. I'm gonna get a little podcast going on, and I'm gonna get addicted to listing.
But let me ask you a question. In business and a lot of in the books, even real estate, what's the number one thing they always say? Besides location, 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 they always say you make your money when you buy, right? The right location. So a lot of people, they get into eBay and they get into Amazon and different reselling aspects, and they think in their mind, you make money when you buy, which essentially you do, but you don't really make that money
until you sell.
I mean, it's an asset in a sense sitting there when you buy it, but that doesn't really turn into like real physical money that gets in your hand that you deposit in your bank until you sell it.
Right.
So what do you say to somebody who has that ingrained, right? And that's always kind of
there are times to do that. Like a collector is a perfect time to do that. Like if you're a collector of things and goods, NES cartridges, old memorabilia, it's okay to be a collector. You're buying low because you know somewhere in the future you're going to sell your stash and it's going to be like a little gold brick, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do get addicted to buying things that are everyday things that can be put on eBay. Like you can literally multiply your money every 7 days if you were disciplined enough to actually list this stuff on a regular basis. So what we're trying to tell you guys is, yes, there's an addiction, and the word addiction is usually a bad word. Shift your mindset and take that addiction, focus it on the other side, which is get addicted to selling, get addicted to figuring out an amazing shipping supply section of your house, getting your boxes all pre-made and done. Get addicted to the right things that stress you out in the first place. What stresses people out is listing. What stresses people out, shipping, right? Get addicted to, you know, dissecting all that stuff out, right? Forget about the buying stuff. You know, get rid of your death piles, get your shipping in line, get organized, and then go back to that buying thing and go, okay, this got me in trouble. Let me get a little bit better at buying. I think to go back to buying, there's nothing wrong with buying, guys. Nothing wrong. It's the smartest thing to do when you're a good hustler. But you got to get back and buy the right items and know in your head, I'm not good at that. I know it has money associated to it, but I'm not good at that.
Let's dive a little deeper into some of the consequences of creating these death piles and of feeding your addiction to buying, and not, you know, realizing that satisfaction of listing and selling your item and shipping it out. What are some of the real consequences that you face? You could get into personal. I'll get into personal as well. You want to start first?
We've had a couple green room hangouts. Well, actually, not a couple. We've had one significant hangout, which was really highlighting the things that can go wrong with a reselling lifestyle. Like, a lot of people love being a reseller because it gives you freedom. They're all like, now I'm free and I get to work for myself. Little do they know is that it's you against you. It's all the world's temptations and everything coming your way. And now you have no boss looking over your shoulder. Now there's no cubicle or quotas to meet.
No one's asking you, Chris, did you get your listings done?
No one's telling you to do anything. And I guarantee you that the key to this game is to master you. You have to go within and figure out, okay, where are my weaknesses? What do I suck at? And then you have to be honest with yourself. You don't have to sit there and try to compare yourself with other resellers you might see on YouTube and go, well, I'm not listing 100 items a day, so I must not be doing good, right? You have to look back within yourself and go, what's reasonable for me? And what is this game really all about, right? What is eBay really all about? I'll tell you right now, here's your little cheat word of the day. eBay is about keywords and good products. It's about good product, it could be even a semi-good product. With good keywords, you can rank at the top of the market versus the very bottom. So eBay is really a game of keywords, right? Everything outside of that is just pictures and shipping and supplies and, you know, cleaning it or testing it.
But outside of that,
you can have amazing products on eBay and get completely hammered on the price because you're not putting the right keywords. It's like taking, you know how people get like a 10% raise in life, right? And it's like, I got a 10% raise, man. And everyone's like, holy crap, that's amazing. What if you took a 30% hit think about it for a second. You might be taking a 30% hit because you're not using the right keywords or anything like that. You're shortchanging your life. Like, would you want a 30% raise or a 20% raise? That's amazing. You know how you get it? Get really good at keywords on eBay.
And this is number 4 on the list, and you transitioned right into it, which is not understanding the entire profit stream. Or is that exactly, or is that a little different that we're talking about? That might be.
It kind of goes into that, but you have to understand the profit stream and what eBay is, right? eBay is an amazing opportunity. First of all, for all the people that are like, I'm leaving eBay, or the fees are going up, I'm leaving. Forget all that. Like, forget those people, right? The way you got to think about eBay is this amazing stream to be almost semi-work at home. Like, you can do a whole day at the thrift store, a whole day at the bins, whole day at garage sales, come home with a massive amount of inventory, and just spend X amount of days like getting it to market, right? That's what I do. So, you know, you have to look at it as a profit stream. And yes, eBay is a company like every other company. Prices go up. We see it with the shipping things. And that's nothing against you, right? That's just them operating and trying to keep their ROI,
It's
their
out of your
margins
control.
completely out of your control. Another thing that's out of your control that a lot of people get really mad at, that I see in Facebook groups and my own sometimes. Returns. Sellers that are trying to scam people. Look, there's only so much you can do about those things, okay? But you got to understand that if you're doing the right kind of business with the right keywords, the right descriptions, the right pictures, that you lessen that first of all. It doesn't eliminate it though. That's the thing about eBay. These scammers, these people that want to return, that's just everyday life. When you go to Amazon, you order from Prime, sometimes you have to return the product. It's just not what you thought it was going to be, right? When you buy something from the store and you're like, oh, it's fresh, you bring it home, you're like, oh man, it's expiring tomorrow. Like, oh, okay, so you bring it back. Like,
all the big retail stores, they all deal with it.
They all deal with returns. They're not sitting there going like, oh, we got to prevent these
It's built
people.
in. Do you know it's actually built into their their profit margins and everything? Is there's a certain percentage that they know is going to get returned. For me, it's been typically less than, it's been 2 to 3% typically.
And I think that's the way you guys got to get it, is like your mentality should be like, you know what, 1 or 2% of your thoughts should be like, how do I address this? But the other 98% of your thoughts should be, how do I list more? How do I make more money? How do I get better keywords? How do I really control this stream and see it to its fullest potential? I think a lot of people that spend any more than 1 or 2% of their thoughts on these things that they can't control, waste of time.
You know who's a really good eBay seller?
Control it.
You know who's a really good eBay seller? I think he's in the comments right now. Is Rockstar Flipper. I think he put a post out. Excuse me if it was somebody else, but I think it was Rockstar Flipper saying, somebody was saying along the lines, I think it was him, that when he gets a return on eBay now, there's literally just a button you click, refund.
Right.
Like, don't even fight it. Like,
actually, it's like 4 buttons, I think now. There's a refund.
But it's streamlined.
Refund with shipping. There's like,
but it's streamlined.
exactly.
And then you hit another button and it just gives them their money back. You remember you have to go into PayPal and do all these crazy things. He understands it because he's running an eBay business. I think he's doing like well over like $15,000 a month on eBay. He's got employees. Good. He's out at the bins. He's sourcing a bunch, and he realizes it. If he's going to keep up that volume, he's got to spend his time doing things that are going to make him money and not stress him out like crazy.
But he's looking at it like a business. That's the most important part. His thoughts are going to expansion, to quality control, to things that he can actually control. You know, quality control, they call it quality, because you can actually control that. You can't control return control or scammer.
But if it's over a certain price, though, because he just mentioned if it's under 10, auto. Right,
and you can do those kind of auto.
When it gets a little more expensive, you do want to spend a little time looking into it. But explain the thin line between looking into something that's being returned for $50 versus just auto refunding anything. Like, what's the thin line there? Like, when will you actually start?
I will take something back. You know, if it's a buyer's remorse thing or something like that, and it's $50, like I might ask for it back if I can put it back on the market for $50. But if there's something wrong with the item and it's a $50 item, like, okay, what good is it going to do to bring it back to me? I'm going to assess it, go, okay, yeah, it's kind of messed up, or maybe I got scammed, right? But in reality, if you're into the item for like $1 to $5 in the first place, okay, maybe you don't get to see this $50 bill. But if they're saying it's broken or something's not right or not as described, and they plugged it in and it did something goofy, it's probably going to do the same thing when it comes to your house. What good does it do to take it back to your house? Just do the refund. Don't pay for any return shipping. Like, get it basically done. Like, make the person happy. You'll get positive feedback.
Let me ask you, how many items do you think you've sold? Like thousands of items on eBay over your career? Thousands and thousands. Out of, if you have to guess, just throw a random number out. How many items? This is going to be crazy. And I want you guys to leave a comment below answering this. I know it's a really ridiculous question. How many items out of how many years you've been selling on eBay?
I think my eBay thing says 98 or 04.
How many total returns do you think you had? If you just throw out a random number.
Total returns.
The first number that just comes to your mind. Total returns.
Somewhere between maybe 30 and 60. It's not many.
Really? That's pretty low. Out of those 30 to 60, how many people actually scammed you?
Probably like 2.
Same here. You guys,
probably 2.
The news, society likes to put things out to make it seem like to be scared of others and that people are so bad. The news and all that, they just highlight the bad. Like, they don't highlight the good. People think that most people out there are there to scam you. Most people are good people. They're honest. I mean, yeah. I've come across maybe like 1/100th of a bad apple, like in my whole career on eBay.
And a lot of times it's a perfect way to get better quality control on your items in the first place. They're giving you feedback like, hey, saw a stain on the shirt, didn't see it in the picture. Maybe on your next batch of 100 shirts or 50 shirts, you start looking a little bit more. You increase your quality control. You take it as feedback. It's not always a slam. So always think about it like that. In fact, when I get something back from a person or something, when someone's trying to say something like, it's not, fitting right, I immediately get apologetic.
Yeah.
I start thinking, can I resell this item or not? If not, I don't care about bringing it back. I'll just let them keep it. And then usually that's the positive feedback. Either way, speed to actual communications, one of the best ways to really realize this is a business. When you have some negative stuff coming your way, speed to communication, getting in there quickly and go, oh yeah, I'll take care of you. That is so important.
The worst thing you could do is have somebody contact you and let like 2 or 3 days go by, because they turn in. If you ever want to see how nasty a human being can get on eBay, just ignore them for 2 days and see what happens.
So if you want to see how nasty someone can get, just start like,
start fighting with them.
It's ridiculous.
I've fought with people on eBay before. I'll admit it. Have you ever done it? Like, been a jerk? Like, I've been
it's not a good idea.
It's such a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not. It is
such a bad idea.
It's not a good idea because it pollutes your minds, your thoughts, all kinds of stupid things. When, like I said, spend 98% of your thoughts trying to run a business, not 2% trying to like pollute your business. So I mean, basically, 2% of your thoughts should be all right. That's done. Sucks. Refund. Like whatever you need to do, but spend 98% of your thoughts trying to build your business, get it good, get it optimized. And and then watch, good YouTube videos that you enjoy to where you can get some more advice.
The fifth thing, and we kind of talked about this already though with keywords and everything, but let's touch on this a little more. This is the 5th big mistake, is you ever see people out there and they're like, I listed up like 200 items today.
Yeah.
And they're so proud. Mm-hmm. And then you realize, maybe it's a friend of yours and they're like, hey, Steve or Chris, do you mind checking over these?
I think we all have done it at some point.
I've done it before.
We've sat there, and I wouldn't even call it bragging, but it's like, it's kind of an accomplishment.
I mean, you're proud.
Well, it's definitely one of those things when people say something about listings, it's because to attack listings on such a crazy front is kind of different for most people. Like most people want to buy. Like that's the reason why you see so many haul videos. But you don't see a whole lot of videos saying like, I made 50 listings an hour. You don't see too many of those because those are a little bit harder to achieve kind of numbers, right? But what we are getting at is focus on quality versus quantity, right? eBay is a game of keywords. It's a game of keywords, good pictures, accurate descriptions, but it's a game.
It's visual. When they type something in or you type something on eBay, you're scrolling down. The first thing you're looking at is either the pictures or the title.
Yeah.
And the price.
Pictures for sure. Everything is visual, but yeah, picture, title. You might not even see the listing that you're looking for if you're not ranking. So, it's a game. You have to get up there.
That's a good point, because you could have the best title. You could have the best pictures. You could have the best price.
But if your keywords are off, I'm telling you, the keywords are everything on eBay. It's the game right there.
It's like the dating world. You could be in the best shape, great looking guy or gal, awesome personality, and you're wondering, why am I not meeting somebody? And then you're not going out. You're not putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with listing on eBay. You could have the best item, and you could have your huge death pile worth thousands, but it's not even on the market.
Yeah, there's so many reasons why. Quality versus quantity, I would much rather see from a lot of people out there, people that are like spending an entire day doing hundreds of listings, unless you have impeccable templates that are filled with amazing keywords. I'm talking like, everything varies with eBay. That's the thing. It's not FBA where you get to do a barcode and you send like 30 quantity of something. Usually with eBay, it doesn't work like that, okay? With eBay, you're dealing with one-off kind of items. And if you have one-off type of templates and there's like thousands of templates that you can pick from, I highly doubt that's going on, right? So literally what you have to do is proof your keyword stuff and proof your quality each and every listing that you have.
Yep.
Every listing that you put up there, you should be thinking, am I rushing through this thing? Have I picked down all the perfect drop-down menus? Do my pictures look amazing? Are my keywords on point? Are my keywords on point to the sold listings that are in the top 3, for example, right? Because who the hell wants to be in the middle and who the hell wants to be at the bottom? You want to be in the top 3, right? So yeah, think about those kind of things before you start attacking a certain number. It's good to have maybe like 5 a day, 20 a day, right? Quality listings, depending on how big your store is and how much you work on your business.
And to go a step further, if you have employees, which at one point I had a couple people working for me, take the time to make sure you teach them how to create a quality listing as well.
Yeah, quality is everything. Like if you told me like make 100 listings a day, I could do it. I wouldn't be confident with the listings whatsoever. Like I would not be confident with them because I would just be like, it's just a number I'm trying to attain. And it's just not the right way to look at business.
You know, a mistake I've made, I agree. I've listed so many items in a day, 100-item clothing days. And not only were my pictures bad, my keywords bad, but I made errors, spelling errors, item-specific errors. I remember a time that I had a return. It was actually from when I had done like 50 or 100 listings in a day. I had like extra large in the title, but then the item specifics was large. So they thought it was the large because on the mobile, you see the item specifics. And I've done like listings on my phone and like it like auto-corrected into a swear, like by just listing so fast. Like I've done really stupid things before, like really stupid things. But it happens when you rush. So whether you're the one doing the listing or an employee, you need to have some type of quality control. I know, again, Rockstar Flipper, he has a couple people listing. He just does all the sourcing and he has a couple people listing. But what he said on our show, I think it was our show, is he actually has them list it and put it in draft mode, and then he goes through and does the quality control to make sure that everything is
whatever works
good,
for you. You know, what we're trying to say is basically look at it as a business and make sure you have that quality control. You're going for quality, right? Remember, quality, not quantity. Quantity is great. I've overviewed people's eBay stores with like 200 items that just have long tail markets, and they're like, why am I not selling anything right now? I'm like, okay, first of all, you're sourcing the wrong stuff. So, you know, you have to sit there and go, what's quality? What's the goal of being a reseller? The goal of a reseller is to take something from point A to point B, with A being $1, maybe point B being $50, and you move it in the shortest amount of time possible, and the money is in your account with no refund. Like that's essentially what we're in the business for.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can replicate that 1,000 times over, honestly, with 0 returns, you're doing very well.
The value that Jim Rohn always says, if you want to make more money, you've got to bring more value to the market. And the value that we're bringing to the market essentially is we're bringing products to the market to consumers at a better deal, or a more efficient way for them to get it, because they get it shipped right to their house, right? They don't have to go to the store and get it, or it's just unique. I mean, we're providing a service. We're bringing products. We're selling products to people at the end of the day.
That's right. So I think it's one of those.
We overcomplicate it at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the one, you know, we overcomplicate it and we make mistakes. And, you know, I've been in the game for a pretty decent amount of years. You've been in the game for 4 or 5 years. Like and so, you know, we've made these mistakes. We're totally guilty of them too.
Every single one of them I've made.
Oh, absolutely. It would be impossible not to go. I mean, unless you're watching videos like this, or, you know, really taking the time to understand the business before you get into the business. But a lot of people just dive right in. And this is one of the things that we want to get accomplished with these videos, guys. We do these videos because we have a fantastic vehicle to teach you guys with YouTube and everything like that. We have the Green Room University on a Facebook group. We have a website. There are all these ways to learn all this stuff. And yes, nearly shortcut the learning curve. We always say that in our videos. We shortcut the learning curve with the Green Room University, because when we started out, we didn't have that at all. There was barely any picker channels, and now the picker channels have exploded. And it's amazing. There's so many resources you can go to.
A lot of good stuff out there.
But we're gonna, you know, end this show here in a second. But we're gonna probably get to a couple questions or comments.
Sure.
And then we'll be done with the show. We're trying to, you know, while Rakin's in town, kind of a monumental moment to do a really fantastic show where it could be almost encompassing, yet we can all learn something.
I want to give something away, man. I've been doing this on a lot of my shows lately. I
did not approve this.
I want to give away, and I'm going to just throw it at you, because there's a lot of people who, they hear about the Green Room. I want to give somebody a free month in the Green Room.
Okay.
And what I want to do is I want you to put out, not a question, but just something that everybody could type. And then I'm just going to pick a random person. And I want you to like have them repeat something, right? I had Ted Polk on the show the other day, the CEO of one of the founders of OA X-Ray, and he's really good at automating and working with virtual assistants. He had everybody say virtual assistant, and there was like 1 million virtual assistants going across the screen. What's one word that you'd like everybody watching right now to type? And if they type it, they're literally entering into this contest to win 1 month of the Green Room, which
I think it's a pretty easy. I got a good one here.
But before they do, they've got to do a couple things. I can't help it.
Okay.
If we're going to give something, I think they should, first of all, like the video.
yeah, like the video that you're on right now, whether you're on Steve's channel, my channel, and if you're on Facebook as well, I see the likes coming by, guys. I really appreciate that. So, you know, keep the likes coming. I have a perfect question for you guys. It does have to do. It's going to be a pretty thing that it's going to be a thing that anybody can kind of guess at, but I think people might know what it is. So, and also, if you're in the green room right now, probably want to pull back from this contest because you're already in.
Yeah.
Let's give this opportunity to someone that's deserving out there that really wants to get in and learn some stuff for the first month. I hope we, you know.
So exactly.
Most amount of, how should I say this? I hope the person comes in with a green room, you know, with a month and goes, oh my gosh, like I can't deal with another month without it. Like I want this thing.
But so, if you get into, when you win, whoever it is out there, hello, you're not only going to get the Facebook group, you're going to get all the private shows and videos that we've done in the room, private training videos, Bolo videos. We have over 30 different videos for the Bolo videos, about what, 6 or 7 different guides and video courses and templates. There's a lot of stuff you're going to get. So you're going to want to enter this. What you have to like, though, if you win, you're going to make sure you like it. Like the video now, and then what is the word that they have to type? And I'm going to let you choose on any screen.
It's not even a word,
winner.
All right? It's not even a word.
Not even a word.
It's not a word.
Is it English?
It's a number.
Oh.
Okay. So here's the actual, like, you know, the first person that does this on my feed and Raken's feed. I'm going to double this up. We're going to do 2 people.
2 people.
It's
I
only
didn't
fair.
approve that, man.
It's totally fair,
okay,
man.
Okay, all right.
So hopefully you guys out there in Facebook land, guys, I don't know if I can go 3 times with Facebook, but if you're on YouTube here, this is going to be the contest. It's really, really fast, okay? When was the Green Room founded?
Like what year?
Yeah, what year?
I don't even know if I know the answer.
It's so fun. I know the answer.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So what year was it founded? Take a look at the feeds. You're going to just pick a random one on either one. Not the first, because it's just.
Not the month, the year.
There's it's moving too quick. Some people are saying 2015, 2012. Someone's saying 2011, 2013, 2014.
Clutter for clarity on mine.
Let's let it wait a second, and then we're gonna scroll through the feed. Let's just watch it. Holy mackerel, that's a lot of numbers.
Clearing clutter for clarity on Liz on yours.
Is there who?
Liz on yours. I saw it.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down.
It's gonna go fast. But yeah, so we have a winner here on Raken's feed. This one right here, Liz Rubin on Raken's feed.
So Liz Rubin, message us at support@greenroomuniversity.com. Screenshot of your YouTube channel, your avatar and everything, and we'll hook you up with the 1 month.
All right, and we have clearing clutter for clarity on this one at 2014. I saw it come up. So message us on support.
So clearing clutter for clarity.
Right. And then some people are playing in Facebook land. Here's John Chacon says 2015, but I'm a paying member already, so kind of funny. Anyway.
And Liz Rubin, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. You know, guys, I hope you guys learned a lot of stuff from this top 5 mistakes when you sell. We didn't really mean for the last part of the show to be a contest, but it is fun to get.
It's gotta be spontaneous, man. It's fun.
We did not plan that. But I hope you enjoy the top 5 mistakes when you sell on eBay. After the show becomes live, you can definitely comment on our videos on no matter what channel that you're seeing it on, and you can actually put in your insight. Maybe you thought we missed one, right? Top 5. Maybe our top 5 isn't your top 5. You can put it down there, and maybe we can do an elaboration video on your suggestions as well. So don't be a stranger. Hit the like button. And don't forget to connect with us with a comment down below. And for those people on Facebook that are watching this, thank you so much for watching. I got to get this out of here right now. It's good to see you guys. Till then, guys, we enjoyed hanging out with you guys. There are going to be plenty of videos coming from Austin, Texas, and Vegas soon, live videos. So we hope to see you guys on those live videos. Maybe we'll see you in Austin. Maybe we'll see you in Vegas. Pay attention to our feeds, and we will communicate where we are. Take it easy, guys. Bye.